In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to use timers. Timers are very important when we want our application to run a task repeatedly, maybe for a period of time. So, for example, we want our app to update the UI a very few seconds, or creating a countdown timers, or maybe auto refreshing data from an API, or running background checks or tasks. So these things we need timers, and by the end of this tutorial you will know how to declare timers, how to start them, how to stop them, and how to use them in real applications. Okay, so let's look at what a timer is. A timer is an object that executes code repeatedly after a specific interval. Example: 1 second, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, or every 1 minute. And timers are commonly used for clocks, games, animations, and periodic updates. Now, let's see the basic structure of a timer. So the first thing you do when you want to use a timer is you declare the timer. So this is the main part of the timer. You declare it, maybe dim my timer as timer. Okay, you declare the timer object, and then you initialize it. That's the step 2. My timer dot initialize. Then the object name, my timer, and then the tick in milliseconds. So the 1000 means 1 second. And then finally we handle the timer tick event. So you create a sub, my timer underscore tick. Okay, so let's try the timer in our B4J application. While you can use it in any of the IDs for Android, iOS, or the desktop. Okay, so first we say we will declare the timer. So you can say dim my timer. Then from here we initialize it. Initialize it with event name. So our event to, okay, let's make our event TM for timer. Okay, then the interval as long, and then we say 1000 is 1 seconds, right? Good. Now the next thing we need to do is we have enable and disable. So timer 1 dot enable, if you want it to start immediately, we set the enable is equal to true. Okay, now by assuming we want it to trigger on a button, we can move this to the button code. So when we hit the button, then the timer should now be enabled or start the timer. Now we have to create a sub, the event routine for the timer. Okay, so to do that we say sub space tab, then you look for timer, the timer tick event, and then our event name, remember why we use TM here. So if you use the same variable object name, you can use the object name, but since we are using TM, we use TM as the event name. So TM, right? And then we say we should log timer is triggered, right? Every 1 seconds. This is it, right? Okay, now let's test our app and see. So I'm running. Okay, our app is running. You can say right now nothing is happening. Okay, because we say we should click the button before the timer will be enabled. So when I click the timer, now you can see that every 1 seconds is calling, the timer tick is ticking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Next thing to do is also to stop the timer. So to stop the timer, you can say timer.enable equals to false. Since we are in debugging, you can do hot swapping, so you can just change and then update the code and then click. So now the timer has stopped. It's as easy as that. Now let's take a look at a simple countdown timer. Okay, now we've declared everything here already. So what we'll do is we'll declare a variable here, say counter, dim counter as int. Okay, so let's initialize it to 0. So when the timer starts, the counter should be equals to counter plus 1. We want to add 1 to the old counter. Then let's log counter. So it will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for us in the log. Okay, let's run. And then start. Sorry, we changed here to false, so you have to enable should be equals to true. Okay, let's run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So this is a simple counter. Now let's try doing a countdown timer, maybe from a bigger number, from 10 or 20 up to 0. Okay, so to do that, let's declare a variable. Let's say dim time left as int equals to 10, right? We have timer enabled here, declared already. So in the tick event, we can say time left, right, equals to time left minus. So we want to be deducting 1 from the time left, which we declared at the top here. Let's give it 10. That's the starting number, right? So when the timer ticks, you should deduct 1, making 9, deduct 1, making 8. I hope you get the idea. Okay, so from here we can say if time left equals to 0, then we'll automatically stop the timer. My timer dot enabled equals to false, right? Let's stop the timer. Then we can also log time is up, right? So it will only happen when the time is up. If we like, we can put log here. When it's counting down, we know the time left. Okay, then this one, let's use log color, so I will know that the time is up. xui dot color red. Let's use color red to indicate when the timer is up. Okay, now let's run it. Nine, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. So and then it ends there. So you can also use a timer to delay an event or execution. So right now I have added an image view to the layout, and then I've set its visibility to false. So it means when the app starts, it will not show. So maybe I wanted if I want the image view to display after 5 seconds, then I can use the timer also to do that. Okay, so let's declare another timer, which is dim splash timer as timer. Okay, let's also initialize it here. So splash timer tm dot initialize. So we'll say this one will use the same name. Remember, you can change the event name or use the same name. If you change the event name, make sure the subroutine, that's the tick event, you have to use the same name you used. That's one common mistake people usually use. I want it to appear in 5 seconds time, so I'll use 5000. Either you can use the 5,000 or you use the tick 5 times. So I'll change it to 5 times so it will just be one tick. Okay, so from here let's create a tick event. So sub space tab timer tick, and then the event name should be this splash tm. If the event name is different from what you place here, the timer will not fire or it will not work. Okay, so the same name as this. Good. So now when it takes, that means that's the 5,000, right? So you should, as soon as the app starts, you should enable it. That's also another thing you should, after initializing, you have to enable it. That's the starting it. So splash tm dot enable equals to true, right? So after this, when it ticks, that's after 5 seconds, then the image view, I think I have to declare the image view to the code, the image view as B4X image view. So image view dot visible, right, equals to true. Then I can disable the timer. Splash tm dot enabled equals to false. Okay, so let's try it and see. Running. So it has started after 5 seconds because it's in the page create. As soon as the app starts, it's triggered. But the other timer, we trigger it using the timer. Okay, now then another thing you can use the timer for is loading or refreshing data. Okay, so I've created a load data subroutine here, which picks JSON data from this placeholder post using an ID. Okay, so this one I'm using the old timer event, so it will count up to 1. It will be counting by 1, and then there are a lot of posts from this API. Okay, so when it uses the count ID to fetch the post, so if the ID is 1, it will go and fetch post ID 1. If the count goes to 2, it will go and fetch post number 2. Let's change the tick to 2 seconds. Okay, so that will be 2000. Great. So saving that, let's hit the start and see the post will be logged here to start time. This is the first post, second post, third post, fourth post. As you can see, don't use timer when you maybe want to do long background tasks or network downloads or heavy processing. You can use services or threads or resumable subs for that. Okay, so thank you for watching this tutorial, and see you in the next video.